two main stars of this video today. One guy in the face of adversity smiled at it and got it done, and the other guy cried like a baby because it didn't go his way and pretty much some kind of destroyed his reputation as a cool, calm, collective guy. Let's talk about Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Let's get into it.
Lamar, I'm going to let you tee this up. Tell me about this teammate of yours and what he was able to do.
Man, 1 hour returners went down, dude. But they practice every day, just like next man up. Nobody in the world thought Ty was going to do that just now. God blessed him, and he did the rest. Shout out to the team who blocked, the return team that blocked. Shout out to him. For sure.
So if you don't know me, my name is Keith. I do Black Quarterback Series, and today we're going to talk about the crazy week 14. So we're gonna start with Lamar. We're gonna end with Pat. If you don't want to listen to me talk about Lamar, you just want Mahomes. I'm gonna leave the timestamp right here for Lamar. Well, I'm gonna leave the timestamp right here, and let's get into it. So Lamar Jackson, 24 for 43, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, an interception, 11 carries, 70 yards. I said he had the worst day ever because the first half he was not, to me, he was not there. He didn't look like himself. He was sick. It was raining. So that was to be expected. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't going to be him in those type of conditions. But the second half, he turned it back into Lamar Jackson. You need a run for a first down. You got that. You need it over the top. I got that. There were some drops in there that he probably should have 400 passing yards and 5 touchdowns if everything goes his way. Looked really good in the second half. Handled his business. He was on the buddy list or whatever First Things First calls it, and he showed up. Now I expect him to not get credit for this today or on Monday. I expect him not to get credit because it's Lamar Jackson. We know how this goes. So yeah. I completely expect him to not get the credit he rightfully deserves today, and probably for them to ignore it. And his running mate, Odell Beckham Jr., had a great game too. You'd have thought he was back in New York. 4 receptions, 97 yards, and a touchdown. Probably could have had 2 touchdowns, but it was enough. It was enough to get the win. Likely finally got a touchdown. 5 receptions, 83 yards, a touchdown. Tyler Wallace is the man of the day, though. We're gonna talk about some other things. We're gonna talk about Tyler Wallace first. Duvernay is hurt, so he was not able to return kicks today. Tyler Wallace returned one of the biggest kicks back in his life for a huge win that puts them securely at the top of the NFC or the AFC. Them and Miami, and they play Miami in a couple weeks, so that game probably is going to be for the number 1 seed. So, could they have played better? Yes. Could the offensive line have played better? Yes. Bateman did he miss a touchdown? Yes. Zay had some drops, like I said earlier. Yes. But it all broke for them. They played really well in that second half. It shouldn't have went into overtime. The defense kind of sold us on that in the second. Well, that last drive, the defense kind of sold us on that. But it was some incredible plays made by Matt Stafford and whatever them dudes' name in LA is. So, great win. I'm glad he won. I'm glad he won in the fashion that he won, that he's been doing his whole career, which is why I ranked him the 3rd best black quarterback ever to do it. If you haven't seen that series, I'm going to leave the link up top. But, yeah, he showed why he's Lamar Jackson, why they paid him the money. I didn't even talk about the Tyler Lindenbaum fiasco when he snapped it for no reason and it has had to take a safety. He didn't let that get to him. And if I didn't put it at the beginning, I might put it here. He was more excited than any fan was that Tyler Wallace scored. So Lamar Jackson, great guy, great football player. I just feel like we need to see more from this, more of this from him. He's a little inconsistent, but hey, when you're 10-3, not much you can really say. So we're going to go to Dallas first. We're going to go to Dallas second. So Dak Prescott, 24 for 39, 2 touchdowns, 271 yards. Hurts was 18 for 27, 197 yards. None of Hurts' numbers matter. Dak Prescott has entered elite conversation. We did. I always plug this, and it's probably poorly edited because it's like 2-3 years old now. I did a video called "The Curious Case of Dak Prescott." I'm gonna leave the link to that at the end as well. Where I detailed from him being a rookie up until that point. This is when he was going through his contract disputes, and it's amazing to see where Dak Prescott came from there. Dak Prescott looks like an elite quarterback. If you've watched Dak play, we can say, oh, he played bad competition and this ain't that. This is a good Philly team. Now, am I going to pick Dallas to win the Super Bowl? Hell no, I'm not picking Dallas to win the Super Bowl. I would be wrong about that. I would pick Dallas to lose every game in the playoffs and just be absolutely wrong. I'm not picking Dallas to win the Super Bowl, but they look like a really good team. Dak Prescott looks like he's a top 10, top 5 conversations now. He's probably going to get MVP consideration now. He's playing as well as anybody else is in the league right now. Shout out to Dak Prescott. Shout out for handling the adversity, you know. They won the game. It wasn't close. I think the final score was 33-13. They came in there and did what they had to do. Now, on the Eagles front, take a deep breath. I'm an Eagles fan as well, obviously. Take a deep breath. I think you guys will be fine. You've had some tough losses there. You've had a couple tough losses. I definitely understand that. But I think you guys will be fine. You got some cupcakes coming up in your schedule at the end, and you'll be able to gain confidence going into the playoffs as the number 1 seed, which I think you guys will be the number 1 seed. But what Dallas did cannot be ignored. Dallas came in and did what they were supposed to do. So shout out to Dallas. Shout out to Dak Prescott. It sucks that you guys are going to have a road playoff game because you're almost unstoppable at home. And so we're going to go through some quick hitters. As you hear me swiping my pages. CJ Stroud, 10 for 23, 91 yards. He went into concussion protocol. And even before that, Nico Collins was out. Tank Dell was out. You can't win without your 2 best receivers. You take, hell, look at what happened to Kansas City. We're going to talk about them later. But look at what happened to Kansas City when everybody's dropping the ball. I think Kansas City is leading the league in drops now. So it might have been best. I don't wish injury on nobody, but it might have been best that he didn't play the rest of the game because I don't think they were going to win that game anyway. Denver, 21 for 23, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. Russell Wilson. I didn't mean to say Denver. Russell Wilson. Those are Russell Wilson's numbers. Now, Herbert got hurt at some point in the second quarter, right? I think it was a hand injury. I'm gonna put it up if that's not what it is. Denver is back in the chase. We look up and Denver is back on the hunt. Denver has an opportunity to do something special now. At the very least, make the playoffs after starting 0-3. I say this every week, and I'm gonna keep saying it. I was done with Denver. They looked awful. But they're back now, especially with Kansas City falling apart. They're back now. So we have to respect what Denver's doing. And with the Chiefs losing 3 or 4, or 3 of their last 4, it's a real good chance. It's a slight chance. It's a really, really small chance that they can steal this division. Hot take, if they steal this division, Patrick Mahomes might not win the Super Bowl for the next 2 years. That's an extremely hot take. So, before we get to the main event, Geno Smith. Geno Smith also didn't play today, so I didn't watch them. Carolina's an absolute dumpster fire. I am done with them this season. You probably won't hear me talk about them no more this season. Save Bryce Young. And Justin Fields. Justin Fields was 19 for 23, 223 yards to touchdown, 12 carries, 58 yards to touchdown. Justin Fields makes me so mad. And it might just be an organizational thing. But he makes me so mad when he puts on performances like this. And then a week before he put on performances like what he did against the Vikings. Now, I'm not a defensive guy. So I don't know the defensive ratings or anything like that. But I would like to think that the Lions defense is better than the Vikings defense. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. They understand division, so that might also be why. But I don't understand how you didn't score a touchdown, if I remember. If you did, it was like early in the game on that Monday night. You looked terrible on that Monday night game. But you looked awesome this game. It might have something to do with expectations. Who knows? But he played well. If Justin Fields can play like this is the Justin Fields that we saw at Ohio State. This is the Justin Fields that we can actually build around. Now, I think Chicago is going to start over, but this is the Justin Fields that you can live with, building upon. Because Justin Fields, his ceiling is probably Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts. I think he's at his floor right now. This is his floor right now. Where Justin is right now, I think this is where his floor is. I don't think he'll get no worse than this unless injuries or some crazy, knock on wood that he doesn't do that. But when you see Justin play like this, you be like, maybe he can be something. You know what I mean? So I would love to see him with a real organization. Pittsburgh, maybe. Make the call, Steelers. Make the call. I don't want him in the same division as Lamar, but hey, I want to see Tomlin successful. So the AFC North is already a bloodbath. Could you imagine putting Justin Fields in that division? Just think about it. I know that's not something you guys do in Steeler land, but there's something to think about. And so our last game, the big game of the week, the main event, Kansas City versus Josh Allen. Now, we already know what's going on with Josh Allen, 6-6, baby Cam Newton, up and down. He's Josh Allen, Brett Favre, you know what I mean? I think Nick compared him to Randall Cunningham. Like, we already know what this game is about, you know what I mean? We know how big this game is for them and for Kansas City. Like I said, Kansas City, prior to this, had lost a couple games that they shouldn't have lost. So, with all that being said, I'm going to put Josh Allen's numbers on the screen. But I do know Pats. I got his Pats right here. Patrick Mahomes, 25 for 43, 271 yards, touchdown, interception. And that was the right call. That was the right call that he made, or the referees made, on the offsides call. I'm gonna put a piece of it, not a piece of the video, but I'm gonna put a screenshot that I got off Twitter right here to show you guys that it was the absolute right call. And you can even see it on TV that he was offsides or he was in a neutral zone. You can't do that. You can't be mad at the refs because they didn't look past something. And Andy Reid went on to say normally they give you a warning. They don't just call that. You guys are professionals. I get that that's supposed to be the thing that you do. You give a warning. But you're a professional. You're a professional athlete. You've literally been doing this probably since 9, 10 years old. Shouldn't you have a feel for where you're at on the football field? And you can look down the line and see. And what is his name? Brandon Jennings made a good point about this today on I forgot what show it is. It's the show that come on FS1. He was like, I can't remember what he said. I'll put the clip here. But essentially, he was like, that should never happen. That should never happen. You're a professional. How does that happen? You know what I mean? And you're not looking at this. That's what he said. You're not pointing to the ref like, hey, am I on? Am I on? Am I not on? Am I not on? Because I've seen this happen before where you line up and then the referees are like, no, go this way, go this way. And if they're messing with you or if they're having that communication as you are talking, they won't snap the ball. They won't snap the ball. I've seen it happen. So for Pat Mahomes to go up there and be like, refs this, ref this, when you've been the beneficiary of a whole lot of weird calls, I got to call it like I see it. I love you, but you've been the beneficiary of a lot of weird calls, just like Tom used to be when he was the guy. So, like, to go on TV, knowing that cameras are watching, and then to disrespect Josh Allen, going up to him, telling that was a bullshit call, it's like, come on, Pat. You better than that. You are better than that. Also to just running around being angry because it seems very performative to me. Let me guys know. Let me know what you guys think. It just seems very performative that Pat would do something like that. Running around screaming. It just seems kind of performative. And EB, EB would never let this happen. Eric Bieniemy would never let this happen, and I'm keep screaming this from the mountaintop. The Eagles, or not the Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs are not the same team since EB left. They're not as buttoned up. They're not as sharp. They're not as Kansas City-ish, if you see what I'm saying. That conglomerate of players, even this one, Isaiah Pacheco and all them, they wouldn't. Some of this is essentially the same team from last year. What has changed? EB is not there. The general is not there. Andy Reid is very laid back. He don't say much. And Pat is pretty laid back and don't say much. You know, they're more good cops. You can't have two good cops. You know what I mean? Even though they're still talented. Don't get me wrong. I'm still picking them to go to the AFC Championship game and lose to Baltimore. I'm still picking that. But you got to be better. Something has to change. I don't know what needs to change, and it might not even be addressed to the offseason, but something needs to change because you guys don't look like Kansas City, and even in your wins, you didn't look like Kansas City at all. So that's my rant on the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think I should improve on, what I should do, blah blah blah. And just let me know what's going on, guys. How you guys doing? Y'all ready for GTA? I know I'm ready for GTA, even though we gotta wait a whole year for it. But I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace. Have a good day.